It's the start of Pride Month, and we're kicking things off with glitter, chaos, and questionable fashion choices. That's right, we've brought in our Gen Z little sister, Zoe, to help us separate the queer cult classics from the over the top camp catastrophes in a game we've called Cult or Camp. Will we agree? Probably not. But we will be loud, dramatic, and proudly nostalgic. Let's get into it. Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jackie, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. In this bonus episode, we're welcoming back our pal and Gen Z little sister, Zoe. Hey, Zoe.
Welcome back.
Hi, everybody.
We were talking about this before you got on, Jackie, that it has been literally like 4 years.
Yes.
Since
Which
we
is
did
crazy.
Joyride. Yeah.
I know. And like our conversation with Joyride, like I think about it quite frequently. I'm like, it was such a fun episode. And then somehow it devolved into the Rolling Stone top 500.
Yeah.
And we did a side quest there.
I was attempting video essays for like 6 months.
All I can remember is back that ass up. That
Oh my
will live in
God.
my head forever.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
So what you been up to?
Well, I was living in Chicago and I'm living in Nashville. Worked in the library before and I work for a major university. So it's definitely fun. I'm not content creating as much anymore because busy with stuff. So I'll like pop up every like month or so. But it's crazy. I used to be posting like literally every single day, 365 for like 6 straight years. But yeah, I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's so sad because we were like this close to seeing each other like in 2022 because we all had tickets to see How Did This Get Made in Chicago.
Yes. Yep.
And then boo, who got COVID?
Jason got COVID.
Jason got COVID.
From the baby. I think he like held a baby on stage. I think that's what it was.
I love that he blames the baby. So
Yeah.
we didn't get to see Zoe or How Did This Get Made? Well, Jackie got to go to a different didn't you go to a different showing?
No, I am 2 for 2. I have had tickets twice and have missed both because my father-in-law got sick, and so we decided to drive out to Florida to be with him, and so I ended up refunding those tickets as well.
Damn.
Oh my gosh. That's a shame.
Three times a charm.
One day.
Yeah,
Luckily, they don't seem like they're going to stop touring anytime soon. So
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you're in Nashville. I was saying that this is the homeland of crazy bachelorette parties.
Yes.
Maybe you can give us some style tips. Jackie and I are going to see Beyonce for Cowboy Carter, and we're trying to figure out our outfit.
I'm also going to Cowboy Carter
Ooh,
in
which
July.
city?
I'm going to the Atlanta show, the first one.
We're going to
Fun.
Houston the 29th.
Yes.
How crazy if we were like at the same show.
I know.
Right?
Well, funny enough, so another podcaster that we met, she actually went with us to Chicago. That was the first time we met in person. And we were talking to her randomly, and she's like, "I'm going to the Cowboy Carter show in Houston." So
Yep.
we'll probably see her.
Either of you seen Beyonce before? Because I haven't. I've tried every tour, and this is the first one I've been able to get tickets to. And it's my sister's favorite album of last year, so we're very like stoked. We're in the nosebleeds, but it doesn't matter. We're in the stadium.
Same.
As long as you're breathing the same air as her, that's all that matters.
Yes, exactly.
Funny question. Well, simple question, funny answer. Have we seen Beyonce? Kind of.
Yeah.
In passing.
Oh, really?
I say this on the podcast a lot. Jackie and I went to grad night, and at our grad night, we had Destiny's Child, Pitbull, and Jessica Simpson. But our buses got lost, and so we were running out of time. And Jackie really loves Disney, and she was like, "We're going all the way to the back," and she had an itinerary for us to go. And I was like, "But Destiny's Child." She's like, "I'll buy you tickets later. Let's go." And I was like, "Okay." And then now is later, 20 something
Oh,
years
you know what?
later.
Everything happens for a reason.
It does. I kind of feel like this might be her last tour. I
That's
don't know
every time I've
why.
always been like, it could be. You just never know.
You never know with her, but it's just some of the clips I've seen, it's feeling like almost like she's doing a review of her entire life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, it, and then she has her kids up there, her mom up
I was just
there.
gonna say.
It's giving, I don't know. Don't do this to us, B, please. But
Oh, seriously.
she doesn't owe us anything at this point. The girl's been
No, she
working
does not.
hard for, as
She
she
does not.
told us, since a child,
Yeah.
really. So as long as I get to be able to say I seen her once, that's all that
Same.
matters.
Yep.
Same.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Paying
how I feel.
and I'm paying off my Destiny's Child debt. So win-win for everyone.
Yeah, right.
I'm just glad that there's no strings attached, that you're not going to try to make me go to a Hanson concert or a Taylor Swift concert in
Oh.
return.
I
I
feel like you
appreciate
would I feel like if you were there, you would enjoy a Taylor Swift concert.
it. Ugh.
I there are
Well,
vibes.
I guess we'll never know.
She was my second concert. Taylor Swift was my second concert ever. I saw her Speak Now tour in 2011. And my first concert ever was Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus at the Best of Both Worlds tour.
Now that is a way to live, because she'll never do that again.
Yeah.
You were living for real.
Yeah, I was like third grade, I think. Yeah, yeah. So I don't like remember it too well. I just
Yeah.
have pictures, and I remember I had like the tour booklet, and I remember
Aw.
like you could flip it to the other side, and it would be Miley's like journal entries and Hannah pictures from the show, and what an icon.
My
Uh,
first concert was Melissa Etheridge when I was 13.
Awesome.
okay. I think mine was Cool in the Gang at the park with Aunt Benny. I knew
It's
some of their songs, but I wasn't like, I got to see Cool in the Gang. But it
yeah.
was fun. It was
M
really fun.
Melissa put on a great show.
I'm sure
Like,
she did. Come
yeah.
to my window,
Yep.
okay?
It was super fun. So we have a game because But I'm a Cheerleader was our movie this week and super culty, super campy, super fun. So we have a list of movies and we're each going to take turns saying if we think it's a cult classic, like Hall of Fame type movie, or if it's camp trash.
I've been looking at this list and I feel like I'm going in one direction, but all right, let's hear the first movie.
Okay, so the first movie is Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Okay, since we finally did this one on the podcast, was it last year or the year before?
Last year.
I would have said cult classic, but after rewatching it, I was like, it may be leaning towards camp trash. But
Oh,
to some
interesting.
people, that's not bad.
I
How
am
about
also
you?
leaning camp trash. What about
Okay.
you, Zoe?
I'll have to rewatch it then because it's probably been a while. But I mean, like you got Allison Janney, Brittany Murphy, Kirsten Dunst. It's like that's stacked. But I'll have to rewatch it then because now I'm like questioning. I was gonna say cult classic, but like maybe I
No,
need to rewatch it, I guess.
some people still really love it, and the cast was top tier, and there were a lot of really good moments.
Hmm.
But it's almost like because so much time had gone by, we had
Okay.
this movie at the top echelon that
Right.
like, oh, this is the best, and then we were like, oh,
Maybe we remembered incorrectly.
maybe not.
Right, sure.
Next up is Showgirls.
I've never seen Showgirls. That's the one with like the leg on the cover, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I've it's like been I have my letterbox watch list is like 700 movies long. And once it's like sent to the watch list, maybe it will be watched or maybe it's there forever. That it's
Right.
one of those. I'm gonna have a couple on this list, which you'll be disappointed in me, but we'll get there.
No, no, it's okay. At least you've heard of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie?
I love Showgirls. I will watch it any chance I get. I will show it to anyone who has not seen it before and just watch them watch the movie because it
That's my
is
favorite. I
a
love doing that.
spectacle.
I know this movie played a lot at your house. I feel like a good majority of the time it just was on, and Mama Terry,
She loves it too.
she does. Oof. I feel like it's in the middle for me because it just one little thing changing and it would definitely be camp trash. But I feel like camp trash isn't a bad category.
It
No.
isn't.
So I think it's camp trash.
Okay.
I love it,
Yeah.
but it gives very much camp.
I love that the director, after he created it, then went on to create a college level course where he taught about it.
That's awesome.
There are
I'm gonna
levels.
I'm gonna make sure you guys know that I made a great movie and I'm going to do a whole college course
Yes,
about
Yes.
it.
exactly.
I love that Drew Barrymore was attached to that movie and it like things between her and the director communication didn't go so well. So
Oh wow.
that would have been interesting. I still think it
Yeah.
would have been just as campy and crashed and burned.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
Next up is Romeo plus Juliet with Leo and Claire Danes.
Without a question, this is a cult classic Hall of Fame movie. I feel like it's my favorite interpretation of Romeo and Juliet. What
I
about you,
remember
Zoe?
watching it in school. Like
Yeah,
I remember that's what we watched. And I think I'm also gonna say like cult classic because just like the angel wings and like on the edge with Leo, it's like it's just like people still dress up it for that as Halloween. I remember I had a friend do that a couple of years ago. Like it has to be cult classic. I mean, come on.
the soundtrack is so good that it had to make two parts. That's classic. Jackie?
I was not into like really any Shakespeare unless it was like the modernized like 10 Things I Hate
Hmm.
About You
Oh,
type Shakespeare or Clueless with
right.
yeah, like modern adaptations. So it wasn't my thing, but I can appreciate the aesthetics and the acting and all of that. So I will go Cult Classic Hall of Fame. It may not be my Hall of Fame, but I understand why it's in a Hall of Fame.
Baz Luhrmann put his whole ass foot in that movie. Just
You
saying.
really did.
Because, like, when I think about our age, I didn't want to watch no damn Shakespeare.
No.
And it came out right after we had to do Romeo and Juliet for English class in freshman year. So we didn't get to watch it in class
Yeah.
like the next few years.
Oh.
So we saw the
Hmm.
old trashy one. And I was like, this is boring.
But it
Yo,
had boobies in it. We got something.
I guess. They didn't show us the boobies in class, though.
Yeah, I saw the boobies in class. I'm pretty sure we had to get like a form sign saying like our parents
Oh,
acknowledged there was nudity.
I feel like I remember
interesting.
there's like in the Crucible movie too. I feel like there had to be a sign off for that too, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering correctly.
Yeah, with Demi Moore.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
Next up is Coyote Ugly.
I have not seen this. I'm like being a really bad for this list,
Oh,
but
I
I
feel
haven't seen
like
it.
that one is a hilarious one to watch.
It,
Okay.
it is. And I would have sworn up until like I watched it fairly recently within the past like year and a half or so. Up
Mhm.
until that point, I would have been like, no, I love Coyote Ugly. And then I watched it as like my brain is fully formed now. And I'm like, how was I obsessed with this movie?
So, Camp Trash.
Camp trash.
I'm gonna say Camp Trash as well. It is. I'll eat it up. You give it to me every time I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
But I know it's not the most quality ass movie.
No,
It's pretty bad.
We need
no.
those movies that'll like lift up others, right? It's like we
Yeah.
Yes.
have to have some of those.
Next up, we have Spice World.
Just like when we did this movie, I'm going to say that this is a glorified music video that's just long. Did I
Oh.
eat it up? Yes. Yes, I did. I feel like it is camp trash, but it is a cult classic at the same time. So I'll lean more towards cult classic because it's just such a good like treasure trove of exactly that time period.
And it
Sure.
knows it's making fun of itself.
Yes. Yeah. It's fully aware.
Yes. So I will agree. It is a cult classic.
Zoe?
The only thing I remember listening to the How Did This Get Made episode of Spice World, and I just remember everyone just being like, it's just bonkers. But I'll
Yes.
probably agree with y'all. I mean, it's one of those things where it's really always funny to me when like Big Time Rush was like around my time, or like the Jonas Brothers having their own TV show. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, these people are in a band, let's like give them a project.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is always kind of funny. It's like a fictionalized version of themselves. We always kind of need those, right? Like, I don't even
Yeah.
think we have that now. Not
No.
really.
We had a lot of it growing up. We had S Club 7.
Hmm.
We had Spice World. Then we had the fake Together, the fake boy band.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a lot of that variation. But yeah, we don't have enough of that now. All right.
Next up is Jawbreaker.
That's a cult
I'm,
classic.
I saw it recently. Like, it was one of those movies I always like put off, and I was like, I have to watch it. I didn't particularly like it.
Oh. Well, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I may
I
change
saw it like
later.
last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
It was one of those, I was like, oh.
I think I watched it once. And so I feel like if I didn't watch it over and over, it was probably
Camp
Camp
Trash.
Trash for me. Yeah. Cruel Intentions.
That's a cult classic for me.
Same.
When I first saw it, I did not like it. I'm a resident Sarah Michelle Gellar head, and I just was not
Not
into it. But
feeling
also,
it.
like, my introduction to Sarah Michelle Gellar, which is really funny, is the Scooby-Doo movies because that was my
Huh.
first thing I watched as a kid. And whenever I like look back, I can always tell like, oh, I think she was my first like crush that I had was her
Hmm.
Yeah.
Stephanie. I remember that because when I watched Buffy for the first time years ago, and I like was like, wait a minute. I have one of those like moments.
This is how much older I am. My first introduction to her was this show that came on, I don't know, like before we had UPN and WB, one of those syndicate show channels called Swan's Crossing. And then she was on All My Children as Erica Kane's
Oh,
daughter. And
wow.
that is how she just like completely embedded into my DNA after that.
Next up, Save the Last Dance.
Camp trash. I'm
Same.
not, I don't know
I
what I was
haven't seen it.
thinking. You didn't miss anything, Zoe.
Mm-mm.
Not
Yeah,
a
okay,
damn
good.
thing.
White Girl Dancing.
Yeah,
What that they tried
horribly.
to pass off as
This is
something
great.
urban.
Yeah,
Oh.
bad.
Center Stage.
Academy Award, Oscar nominee.
I will say it's a cult classic.
So damn good.
All right. I'll put it on the watch list.
Yeah, yeah. Zoe, I got to see a screening of it at the Miami Film Festival a few months ago and got to meet the actress who was in it. And we watched the movie. I was like, damn, this still hits like a
Oh,
freaking
good.
Sprite at McDonald's. Always good.
Crisp.
It is. Honestly, the hierarchy of Sprite is a Sprite at McDonald's, a Sprite in a can, and then everything else after that. Nothing gets better than that.
I'll agree. It's like a fountain soda. It will take over every single time.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
I Hot tip. I always order my Cokes at McDonald's with no ice so it doesn't get watered down because it
Facts.
comes out of the fountain cold.
Oh.
Let me just tell you this. Usually I would do the same, but a Sprite at McDonald's, even with the ice, it's still banging. I don't know why. The ice cream machine's not working. They're probably not giving me real meat, but I got if God was my witness, that Sprite is always gonna be banging. Burps galore because
Yes.
the bubbles. What's the next one?
Next up is Crossroads.
I
I'm
mean,
glad it's
if we're
streaming now.
if we're just talking Britney Spears, it's called classic. But other than that, I do not remember the movie at all, except that she's like it's one of those things. It's been a while.
People talk shit about that movie. When we redid it, when we did it on the podcast, I'm like, it wasn't as bad as we've seen worse, way
There's
worse.
there's
I'm
a
sure.
lot worse out there.
Yeah. And because it's Britney, I would say it's a cult classic.
Yeah, I would agree. Next up is Sugar and Spice.
I feel like that movie is way more infamous in just like vibes and visuals.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I feel like I'm going to say Camp Trash.
Same.
Don't kill me.
I think
I
I
haven't
watched
seen
it
it, so-
once.
You haven't seen it either yet, Zoe?
No, there's a lot of there's like a I feel bad like this list.
You're
don't
good.
worry.
Doing terrible, but that's okay.
You're
The
good.
same lady, the same person who made Drop Dead Gorgeous made Sugar and Spice, by the way.
What about White Chicks?
That's a classic.
Classic. I mean,
And it's a black classic at that.
just with the Terry Crews like in the car alone, like that
Right.
solidifies it. But the rest of it, it's so good.
It still makes me laugh. What
I-
about it?
I mean, I
Jackie.
didn't grow up on it. I watched
Jackie.
it for the first time this year or whenever we did it on the podcast. And so I understand why it is a cult classic. It's just not my cult classic. We can have differing opinions.
I'm not saying nothing.
Moving,
I'm just breathing.
moving on to the sweetest thing. Pry it from my cold dead hands.
I like it. I just don't love it as much as you do. It's borderline for me. Like I haven't since we watched it on the podcast, I'm like, damn, I forgot about this movie. But it's never a movie that I'm like, I gotta rewatch it. But what I do say that's really good about it is that it's one of those, it was ahead of its time and being like a raunchy female comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, it's very rare that we even get those at all.
So yeah,
Yeah. What do you say, Zoe?
I've not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I
Well, that
should
one
have
you
been, yeah, should have been
should see that
tracking
one.
how many I missed.
And last up, Josie and the Pussycats.
I mean, from my recollection, I think it's a cult classic, but I also was such a big Archie Comics fan growing up. I was a weird kid. I had like over like 200, like every birthday I'd get like Archie Comics. So when I watched this as a kid, I mean, I loved it.
Jackie?
I like the soundtrack. I like parts of it.
Mhm.
So I would go Camp Trash for the rest.
It's so funny because when it came out, a lot of people didn't get it or didn't like it. And I remember briefly seeing it, but I do love the soundtrack. It is
Bangin'.
borderline for me. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I feel like we're gonna get so much hate for this one, but
It's all good. It's all good.
it can't be trash for me. But I get it more now than I did back then.
Yeah. And
Way ahead of its
especially in
time.
this like uber consumerism, capitalism wasteland that we live in now. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, they were trying to warn us. Here we are.
All
Okay,
right, that was
we have-
good.
we have a question for everyone, Danielle.
Okay, what movie characters had more chemistry with their rival than their love interest? I don't have a rival, but I think that Hilary Duff in Your Voice had more
Mhm.
chemistry with her brother than
Oh,
her
that's
on-screen brother
true.
than her guy. I don't know what his name is.
I don't have a rival either, but Stu and Billy, you can't tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
They be fucking for real.
hmm
Yeah, I would have to agree on that.
I don't know, I can't even, like, what is movies? Like, I can't think of anything.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
I have
you
no
know
answer.
who? Bridesmaids. I feel like Rose
Burn.
Byrne and Kristen Wiig had more chemistry with each other, or actually Spy with Rose Byrne and Melissa
hmm
McCarthy. Those two, I would watch them all over again.
That's fair.
Oh, I rewatched last month, I rewatched the 2007 Hairspray.
Mm.
And I
hmm
remember thinking the whole time, I was like, Penny and Tracy have much better chemistry than her and Zac Efron. Like, I know,
Yes,
like,
Yes.
it's been a whole thing. Like, I don't know if you've been seeing the Tracy Turnblad, like, I can't remember her name, the cameos that she's been doing.
Yes.
because she's a racist, crazy person
Yes.
Yeah.
and
So I was like,
deserves everything that she gets.
I have to rewatch it because it's been so long, but I was just like, I just don't, like, it's Zac Efron in his prime, like, I get it, but it's just like, I don't know. I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
Agreed.
Although John Travolta and Christopher Walken, top tier chemistry.
Yes. Never would have put that together, but my goodness.
When they dance together, I swoon. Like it's so lovely. I'm like, oh, look at you guys. Okay, well, now we're gonna put Zoe in the hot seat and have you choose your three employee picks. And so we used to be Blockbuster employees and we got to suggest movies to customers. So now let's see what you stock on the shelves at Blockbuster.
Well, so one, I'll say super bad. I've seen that movie a million times. And I know it's not like there's definitely a lot of it that has not aged well.
Yes.
It's
Mm.
like that. Like I remember I wrote papers on it in college. I've seen it 1,000 times. I will also say complete 180, Singing in the Rain.
Oh,
Great. I love that movie. It's one of those movies you watch it and you're like, why aren't movies made like this anymore? It's so colorful and Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds. It's incredible. And then I'm also going to say Little Women 2019.
Yes.
It's just so good.
That is when my love affair with Florence Pugh began.
She's the best. I mean, I I mean, Joe is like my favorite character. I read that book so many times growing up, and I just Saoirse Ronan is so. I mean, everyone's so good in that movie.
I love her. My favorite movie that she's in is Brooklyn. I can watch that.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
one of my favorite. It's a romance, not a rom-com, but it's so good. I don't think enough people talk about that movie. Zoe, why don't you do you want to shout out your social media handles or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm at Some Like It Pop everywhere.
Okay. And if you agreed with our camp or cult classics, or you're mad at us, hit us up at No More Late Fees on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Threads, and Blue Sky. Or if you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment. And don't forget to drop in as Pride Month continues next week with Chasing Amy.
And as always, be kind and rewind.